Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel. Whether you're new or you're coming back, thank you so much for tuning in. Today we have a special topic in mind. This is the spring equinox reading. I was talking about it yesterday and maybe a few days before that because it's so important and magical. This is also the beginning of the new zodiacal year, so astrologists are essentially, that's when we celebrate. Okay, why not? That's when we celebrate New Year, you know? So the sun is gonna go into Aries and start the Aries season about 5 minutes away from the equinox. So it's technically at the same time, right? And so this is gonna really communicate the time of change and renewal. And yes, I know the equinox is a lot about, obviously as the astronomical event, it's the time when the daylight and the nighttime are of the same length, right? It's like right in the middle. But, and starting from this day onwards, days are gonna be longer than nights, which is always exciting for us and human beings who are drawn and have a need for the sunshine, for the light. It impacts our mood, our energy, our activity, so especially in the climates and in the locations on the earth where this matters more in terms of the seasons, right? Like there's a lot going on, and I can talk for hours about the meaning of it from astronomical point of view and climate point of view. But what's important apart from this being like a signifier of the spring coming in America in a couple of days. I think we have a date when the official spring starts, which I've never understood as a Ukrainian, but so that's and a lot of countries actually have these holidays of spring, or maybe even officially a new year at this time. I have a colleague, former colleague, who is from Iran, and they're celebrating Iranian New Year this week, which makes total sense. I mean, it's the Middle East where the seasons aren't as vivid, but still they do acknowledge this at the start. And so with that in mind, we're gonna do a reading. I want to jump in. Don't want to bore you too much with information. You can Google, you can find out more, obviously. I want to ask 3 questions. I want to see what is being renewed from the old energy, right? Like, as we're entering this new year, where, in which areas of our life, or what kind of themes have been renewed, where you're going into it with a new perspective, with a new experience, with a new knowledge, and the second question will be, what new energy is coming in, like completely new, something maybe that you haven't been acknowledged before, right? Some newness. And then the third question is going to be about advice for action at this time, how to solidify and how to invite the happy, the abundant energy into your life, the energy of union within and without. Okay, let me do an oracle card first. I will take the first one for Divine Feminine's watching, and I'll answer these questions for each of the twins. Yes. All right, we'll take 2 cards. They kind of jumped out. Wow. In the flow, everything is smooth sailing, and miracles. Expect the wonders to emerge. I mean, do I need to say more? Miracles are coming in. The nature is waking up, and as you become more and more in alignment with what's outside, actually that's another message that I'm getting for you guys, that it's time to reconnect to nature, especially if you live in a climate where winter is cold and maybe you haven't gone outside as much, you haven't done outside activities, even more so. Start doing that. Go to nature. I'm not saying like walk barefoot and hug trees, which is great, but you don't have to go that far, right? Like, as long as you spend that quality time with that intention in mind, that will be so powerful and connecting. I promise you. Let's see what we have for the masculines. All right, we have uncovering treasure. Oh, I love it, especially with the dragon in the year of a dragon. Beneath the surface lies great bounty. So masculines are discovering happiness and joy in places they haven't expected. So this is that second question that I'm going to be asking about the new energy or something new that we're discovering, learning. All right. I'll switch to the main spread with the follow deck today. We have 3 questions, so we'll get 3 cards for each of the twins. Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. The empathetic, kind, and loving queen. It's almost like, I know that Earth is usually associated with Pentacles, but to me it's like motherly energy, like Mother Earth, you know, like that connection. But like specific accent on the motherly energy that's very strong right now. So it can also turn to nature for support and nurture. Magician, yes, that's the miracle energy we were just talking about. So anyways, first question is, what energy is being renewed from something that you've already learned or experienced before, but how is it different now? For feminines, we have 7 of Swords clarified by 8 of Wands. This is having a difficult conversation. This is talking about things that aren't talked about usually, right? And maybe before you would prefer to be silent yourself or say something that will not cause tension or conflict, right? But now you're getting into the space where you don't want to do that anymore. And it's not just about like splurting it in someone else's face, right? It's about having a meaningful conversation where you want and can reach consensus, like honestly and openly deliver your position, the message, whatever is the content of the conversation. For masculines, we wow, the Devil clarified by 4 Wands. Wow. I mean, for the masculines, they are changing their attitude towards long-term commitment, marriage. What is it all about? Not that they've seen it only as a negative before, but they've had their doubts and worries because they also saw how much more difficult it gets. They had friends who would tell them, okay, now that we are married, or like after 5 years, like it's gotten worse, right? It's not as magical anymore, or it's harder to find that those magical moments in the communication, you know, that intimacy, whatever, right? Like the list can go on, but it's like something dies there in the relationship, you know, like that's what I'm getting. That's like the unhealthy pattern that they've seen. Some of them experience it themselves, and that was a very strong belief that they had, and now it's being turned around. And look at this card specifically in this deck. It's about dancing and celebrating, and that's what it is, celebrating life together. It's sharing it in this, you know, intricate dance of life, if you wish, doing it together in partnership, adding to the joy of each other. They are rethinking and re-seeing, if I can say it that way, what it means, on like taking it to a different level where it's more inspiring and they're enthusiastic about it rather than scared. What is the new energy? For feminines, it's 5 of Pentacles clarified by the Star. Oof. This is the energy of never feeling alone, but like on a different level. How do I put it that way? It's this confidence and comfort that you're connected, that you cannot make mistakes and you're infinitely loved, right? But this is like very much on a visceral level with the Pentacles here, especially, where you don't feel left out, you don't feel lonely, you don't feel poor in any meaning of that word, right? Like changing this around, change the storyline around, where this connection is the guiding light and the source of, I don't know, spirituality, connectedness, light worker vibe I'm getting, whatever that means to you, right? Like that turns things around to make it meaningful, to make it powerful, and to get you to the point where you're like, I don't need to have specific people around or specific person around or whatever, have external recognition from people in order to feel fulfilled and happy and supported. Masculines, King of Pentacles, clarified by the Justice. For masculines, they're seeing new ways of building abundance, building business, doing career, doing their occupation, where they don't have to cut corners, where if before they saw that there is no other way out, it's just impossible to do business otherwise, you aren't gonna make the profit, whatever, right? Now they're seeing that's the only way, because the energies need to balance. They're starting to intuitively understand these laws of reciprocity, laws of karma, you know, like how it comes around, how if they have great intentions in mind, there will always be a way. The door will appear and will be open to get them to where they need to be. But if they have an attitude, a belief system, like I have to trick the system, right? Or I have to lie to be on top, then that's what they're gonna get, right? It's either not gonna be lasting, or it's not gonna produce as much result as they wanted. Advice for the feminines. 5 of Cups, clarified of 6 of Pentacles. Do not have regrets of things that went away if those things were not in balance, if they were not the exchange of reciprocity, whether that was a job or a relationship, friendship, romantic relationship, whatever it was. Part of your life that went away, stay thankful to it, be grateful, and let it be. Because, and yeah, I know it sounds like a cliche, there is something better out there for you that will be balanced, that wants to come in. Once you let go of the old story, that person that didn't appreciate you, that job where you overworked yourself, fill in the gaps for your story. And this is not just like, okay, I'm not going to talk about my feelings. This is being able to transmute them and let go, so that you can see how important that part of your story was, but that it didn't have to be your story like for the long-term future. It just wouldn't be fair to you. It wouldn't be loving and kind, and that's what the universe is and does. For masculines, we have Page of Pentacles, clarified by 10 of Wands. Masculines, do not be afraid to start with something small. Ambition is great, but be kind. This is the card of kindness, actually, right? Be kind to yourself with everything you've been through, with everything you're going through right now, and everything you're learning. It takes time to integrate it into your life. So as long as you're making changes one step at a time, a little bit every day, and you're looking to a better, more kind and loving tomorrow, this is all that's needed right now. And yeah, still dream those dreams, make those big plans, but do not pressure yourself for squeezing them into specific timelines. If it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right. Dream them, let them go to the universe, to the divine, and start taking your steps to get there, and you'll be surprised. Okay, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I feel like this was a beautiful reading to start us with a new astrological year. I congratulate those who acknowledge this date, who celebrate, and of course, as always, I'll be back with more readings very, very soon.